It was 2:47 in the morning on February 24th, 2026, and I was standing at the edge of a coastal cliff, listening to the waves crash against the rocks far below. I don't know why I was there. I mean, I had gone out for air, just to clear my head, just to breathe. But something pulled me to that cliff, something I couldn't explain. The wind was cold and sharp, and the sound of the ocean was so loud it felt like it was inside my chest. And I was standing there, looking out at the dark water, and I started thinking about someone. I don't know who it was. I just know that a face came into my mind, and I couldn't shake it. And then everything changed. I need you to stop right now. I need you to think about the person who came to your mind when you saw the title of this message. You know who it is. Maybe it's someone you love deeply. Maybe it's someone who hurt you. Maybe it's someone you've been praying for every single night, or someone you've been trying to forget for months. But that person is on your mind right now, and I need you to understand something. That is not a coincidence. You did not stumble onto this message by accident. You were brought here to this exact moment because God has something to say to that person, and He chose you to hear it first. So look, I know how this sounds. I know some of you are skeptical. I was too. I'm not someone who usually talks like this. I'm not someone who stands on cliffs in the middle of the night and claims to hear from God. But what happened to me in those next few minutes was so real, so undeniable, that I cannot stay silent. I tried to sleep earlier that night. I couldn't. I lay there staring at the ceiling for 2 hours before I finally got up and walked outside. I tried to walk away from that cliff once I got there. My feet wouldn't move. And then I heard it. Not with my ears exactly. More like something that landed in the center of my chest and spread outward until my whole body was shaking. And I started to weep. I didn't even know why at first. I just stood there with tears running down my face and the waves crashing below me. And I knew that I was not alone on that cliff. He was there. I can't fully describe what that presence felt like. It was like warmth and weight at the same time, like being held and being searched all at once. And his eyes, I know that sounds strange, but I felt his eyes on me, and they were full of something I can only call grief mixed with love. Not anger, not disappointment, grief. The kind of grief that comes from watching someone you love walk through pain you could have prevented if they had only let you in. And he looked at me, and he said, "Tell them. Tell the one they're thinking about. Tell them I see them. Tell them I have not forgotten them. Tell them what I'm about to show you." And I said out loud, standing on that cliff with the wind tearing at my jacket, "I'll tell them. Whatever you show me, I'll tell them. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm talking to you right now, because I made a promise on that cliff and I intend to keep it. So if you're still here, if you haven't clicked away, then this message is for you. And the person you're thinking about right now, this is for them too. Don't dismiss what you're feeling in this moment. That pull in your chest, that sense that this is somehow meant for you, that is real. Trust it." He showed me 5 things, 5 specific things about the person on your heart, and I'm going to tell you all 5 of them because every single one matters. But I need you to stay with me because the fifth one is the one that's going to change everything. I'm not saying that to keep you watching. I'm saying it because when he showed it to me, I fell to my knees on that cliff, and I couldn't stand up for a long time. The rocks were cold and wet beneath me, and I didn't even care. So stay with me, please. This is important. The first thing he showed me was a room, and in that room was the person you're thinking about right now. They were alone. It was nighttime in the vision, and they were sitting in the dark, not because the lights didn't work, but because they hadn't bothered to turn them on. And I understood immediately what that meant. This person has been living in a kind of darkness that isn't about circumstances. It's about hope. They've lost hope. Not all at once, not in some dramatic moment, but slowly, quietly, like a candle that burns down so gradually you don't notice it's almost out until the room is nearly black. And God looked at that person in the vision, and He said, "I see you sitting in the dark. I see you, and I want you to know that the darkness you're in right now is not your permanent address." I need you to hear that. The darkness is not their permanent address. He said it with such certainty, such authority, that I felt it shake something loose in my chest. This person has been telling themselves a story. The story goes something like this. This is just how things are now. This is just who I am now. Things don't get better for people like me. I've gone too far down this road to turn around. And God is saying directly to them, through you, through this moment, that story is a lie. It is a lie. He is not finished writing their story, not even close. And the fact that they are still here, still breathing, still somehow holding on, even when holding on feels impossible, that is not weakness. That is evidence that something in them still believes, even if they can't feel it right now. The second thing he showed me was a door, and the person you're thinking about was standing in front of it. The door was open. I want you to understand that it was already open. They didn't have to knock. They didn't have to earn the right to walk through it. It was standing wide open, and the light coming through it was the kind of light that makes you feel warm just looking at it. But the person was standing there, frozen. And I asked God, why aren't they walking through? And he said, because someone told them they didn't deserve to. And I mean, that hit me like a wave. Someone told them they didn't deserve good things. Someone, maybe a parent, maybe a partner, maybe their own inner voice repeating words that were spoken over them years ago, told them so many times that they were too broken, too far gone, too much of a mess, that they started to believe it. And now they're standing in front of an open door and they can't make themselves walk through. So listen, if you know this person, if you're going to talk to them, if you're going to reach out after this message, I need you to tell them something. Tell them the door is open. Tell them they don't have to earn it. Tell them God is not standing on the other side with a list of everything they've done wrong. He's standing there with open arms, and he has been waiting patiently, lovingly, without any trace of resentment for them to take that first step. That's what he showed me. That's what he said. And I believe with everything in me that this is the word they need to hear today, on this day, February 24th, 2026. Not someday, today. Now, the third thing he showed me was harder to watch. I'm going to be honest with you, I almost looked away. He showed me the person you're thinking about in a moment of real pain. Not a vague, general kind of pain, specific pain, the kind that comes from betrayal. Someone they trusted, someone they gave their heart to, someone they believed in, let them down in a way that left a mark. And I watched this person in the vision absorb that pain and then do something I recognized immediately, because I've done it myself. They folded it up and put it somewhere deep inside, and they kept going. They kept showing up. They kept smiling when they needed to. They kept functioning. But that folded up pain is still in there, and it has been quietly shaping every decision they've made since. It has been whispering to them in quiet moments. It has been making them hesitate when they should move forward. It has been building walls where God intended open doors. And God said, I saw that moment. I was there. I did not cause it, but I was there and I wept. He said, I wept. And then he said something that I have been turning over in my mind ever since. He said, the wound they carry is not evidence that I abandoned them. It is the very place where I intend to do my greatest work. I mean, I had to just stand there and let that land. The wound is not evidence of abandonment. It is the place where he intends to do his greatest work. And I need you to pass that on. Because the person you're thinking about has been interpreting their pain as proof that God doesn't care. And he is saying directly, clearly, with everything he has, that is not the truth. That has never been the truth. The fourth thing he showed me was a battle, and I don't mean that metaphorically. I mean, he showed me something that looked like a war, and in the middle of it was the person on your heart. They were surrounded, and I felt fear watching it, real fear, because the forces around them were real, and they were pressing in from every side, and I looked at God and I said, they're surrounded. What do we do? And he smiled. He actually smiled, and he said, look again. And I looked again, and I saw what I had missed the first time. They were surrounded, yes, but so were the forces around them. There was something else there, something I can only describe as an army of light, and it was encircling everything. The person couldn't see it, but it was there. It has been there the whole time. So I need you to understand this. The person you're thinking about right now is in a fight. You probably already know that. You've probably watched them struggle and wondered why things keep going wrong for them, why it seems like every time they take a step forward, something knocks them back. And God is saying the battle is real. He is not minimizing it. He is not telling them to just think positive and everything will be fine. He is saying the battle is real and they are not fighting it alone, and the outcome is not in question. He said, tell them to hold on. Tell them the reinforcements they cannot see are already there. Tell them the tide is turning. And you know what? I believe it. Standing on that cliff, watching those waves crash and pull back and crash again, I understood something. The ocean doesn't stop. It doesn't give up. It just keeps coming. And so does God's faithfulness toward the person on your heart. Now, the fifth thing. I told you this was the one that brought me to my knees, and I meant it. I'm going to take a breath before I tell you this, because I want to make sure I get it right. He showed me the future, not in a vague, symbolic way, in a clear, specific, undeniable way. He showed me the person you're thinking about, and they were not in pain. They were not in the dark room. They were not frozen in front of the door. They were not carrying the folded up wound. They were not surrounded by the battle. They were standing in a place of such peace, such wholeness, such genuine joy that I started weeping again just watching it. And they were helping someone else. They were reaching back and pulling someone else forward. They had become, in this vision, the very thing they needed most when they were in the dark. And God said, "This is not a possibility. This is not a maybe. This is what I have already written for them. The only question is whether they will trust me long enough to get there." And then he looked at me and he said, "That is why you are here. That is why you cannot sleep. That is why I brought you to this cliff, because that person needs to know that I have already seen their ending, and it is good. It is so good. And I need someone to tell them." And I just wept. I wept and I said yes. I said yes on that cliff. And I'm saying yes right now by being here and telling you everything he showed me. So I'm telling you, and I need you to tell them. Here is what I want you to do right now. Not tomorrow, not after you finish this video. Right now, I want you to reach out to the person on your heart, send them a message, call them, show up at their door if you have to. And I want you to tell them that someone was standing on a cliff in the middle of the night on February 24th, 2026, and God showed them 5 things. Tell them the darkness is not their permanent address. Tell them the door is open and they don't have to earn it. Tell them the wound is the place where God intends to do his greatest work. Tell them the army of light is already there, surrounding everything they cannot see. And tell them that God has already seen their ending, and it is good. And if you are the person, if you're the one who came to your own mind when you saw this title, then I need you to hear this directly. You are not too far gone. You are not too broken. You are not too late. God did not bring you to this message to mock you or to remind you of everything you've failed at. He brought you here because he loves you with a love that does not flinch, does not waver, does not give up. And he has been waiting so patiently for you to let him in. Every time you almost reached out and then pulled back. Every time you almost prayed and then stopped yourself. Every time you almost believed and then talked yourself out of it. He saw all of it. And he is still here. He did not leave. He has not left. So let's pray together right now. Just say this with me out loud if you can. Say, "God, I don't fully understand what's happening, but I believe you see me. I believe you haven't forgotten me. I believe the door is open, and I'm choosing right now in this moment to take one step toward you. I don't have to have it all figured out. I just have to take one step. So here I am. I'm taking it. Thank you for the army I cannot see. Thank you for the ending you've already written. I trust you with the in-between. I trust you with the wound. I trust you with the battle. I trust you with all of it. Amen." It is now 4:12 in the morning. I have been on this cliff for almost 90 minutes. The waves are still crashing below me. The wind is still cold, but something has shifted. Something in the air feels different, lighter, like the moment just before dawn when the sky hasn't changed color yet, but you can feel that it's about to. And I believe that is exactly where the person you're thinking about is right now. They haven't seen the light yet. But it's coming. It is coming. And you, the one watching this right now, you are part of how it gets to them. You are the messenger. You were chosen for this. If this message reached you, please share it. Don't keep it to yourself. There is someone in your life who needs to hear these 5 things, and you were brought here first so that you could carry it to them. Be the messenger. Be the one who shows up. Be the one who says, "I don't know why, but I felt like I needed to tell you this." Because that nudge you feel right now, that pull toward a specific person, that is not random. That is not your imagination. That is a commission from God, and he does not give commissions without also giving the courage to carry them out. So go. Go find the person on your heart. Tell them what God said. Tell them he sees them. Tell them he has not forgotten. Tell them the ending is already written, and it is good. And I'll be back with more of what he showed me on that cliff. Because there was more. There was so much more. But for now, this is your assignment. Go carry it.